Dr. Zhivago was directed by David Lean. Released in 1965, it stars Omar Sharif as the eponymous doctor and Julie Christie as his great love Lara. Set against the Russian Revolution, this is one of Lean's many epics and comes off the back of the huge successes of The Bridge Over the River Kwai and Lawrence of Arabia. After those films, Lean said that he wanted to do an out-and-out romance. Dr. Zhivago takes all that he learnt on those two films and pairs it with his ability to adapt huge works of literature, like his 1940s Dickens adaptations, Great Expectations and Oliver Twist. The novel of Dr. Zhivago, written by Boris Pasternak, was a huge success when it was released and caused a storm internationally as it was banned in its homeland of Russia. We get the story here told to us through the use of narration, something of a trademark in Lean films. It is delivered here by a David Lean favourite, Alec Guinness, who has a great cameo role as the KGB officer, trying to piece together the story of Lara and Zhivago. Alec Guinness is so good in this film, it's such a shame his role is so small. In fact, that is probably the only thing that can be considered small about this film. The film itself is long, and unfortunately at times it felt like it. The first half, where we're introduced to everybody and we get the Russian Revolution, that is all really exciting. The standout for me is Rod Steiger. He is great as the incredibly slimy and downright horrible Victor who keeps forcing himself upon Lara. Tom Courtenay is also a great addition to this first half and turns out to be our sole voice for the Russian Revolution. I also love how this first half is handled. It's quick, it's energetic, and it is filled with lots of interesting locations. Whether we are all cramped up in the attic with Lara, or out on the streets with the protesters, or dining out at the glitzy gentlemen's club. Every scene is full of things to keep our eyes busy, and this is where David Lean really shines. With all this excitement going on, it is hard when we enter the second half and find it such a bare and desolate place. Of course, this is all how it's meant to be. We are thrown out with Zhivago into the snowy wilderness as he has to learn to scrape together a living off the land. I like how it contrasts the look of the first part of the film. However, the story for me starts to really slow down and become sluggish. And it's such a shame because this is when the great romance between Zhivago and Lara is meant to start in earnest. However, sitting there, I couldn't get interested in either their chemistry with each other or what was going to happen at the end of it. I didn't care enough for these two. And as that's the point of the film, it makes it a little bit difficult. One thing that is really good is Omar Sharif, and we get to spend a lot of time with him. And his performance is so earnest as Dr. Zhivago. You know, we can forgive him for almost anything, I think. Julie Christie is alright in the role of Lara, but I find it hard to really buy into her character. She comes across as quite cold, unfortunately. For me, Geraldine Chaplin is just so good as Tonya, Zhivago's wife, that I really do feel for her, and her devotion for her husband. Some of my favourite scenes are the ones that feature Zhivago, Tonya, and her father, played by Ralph Richardson. Dr. Zhivago does have some great moments and great performances. Unfortunately for me, it's weighted far too much in the first half of the film. This film is nearly 3.5 hours long. I feel like it's almost the reverse of that other epic romance Gone with the Wind, where the second half rattles along at such a pace. It makes this film feel like a real slog. But please let me know if I'm wrong. I'm sure there are many people out there that love this film and love the romance between Zhivago and Lara. And please let me know in the comments whether you've read the book, what you think about it, and whether I'm just being a little bit too harsh on this film. And if it did work for you, why? Next week I'll be reviewing the Chinese language film Raise the Red Lantern. And trust me, it's a good one. I've got all the links for the film down below. But until then, goodbye.